Okay, so the Smuggler's Room put out a challenge to create a flux capacitor. If you don't know what that is, then maybe you've been living under a rock. No, I'm just kidding. Then it is the mechanism in the car from Back to the Future that made time travel possible. And there's a lot of references. There's a lot of like prop builders that have built it. It's a very known kind of movie prop. And his challenge was to mash up, to make a flux capacitor, but mash it up with another movie, or like say make a flux capacitor but build it in the Star Wars world. What would it look like? But it has to look like a flux capacitor but be just that much different and set in another world. So the one I'm going with is I love the Firefly series with the movie Serenity, and there's a lot of Oriental kind of influences in those movies. It's kind of a space cowboy type genre, but there's a lot of Oriental influences in it, and so I thought I would do kind of an Oriental style box surround to create my flux capacitor in. And so I was looking for something at the thrift store that was kind of octagonal, and I found this box and I thought, hey, that's kind of perfect for what I'm looking for. But the only thing is that it's a little too tall, I think, for what I had in mind. I would like it to be, you know, maybe this tall with the lid, and, you know, try to add some kind of a little bit of Oriental space cowboy ruggedness to it, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I think it'll be a fun project. Well, I've got a little bit of work ahead of me to get this ready, but I think it's gonna be awesome. So really excited about this. Okay, so yeah, just cutting it down after I went around and marked it all the way around, and yeah, getting there. This is the bottom of the box. These are the sides, so just cutting it down so that I can put my lid on top, so like right there. I think that's gonna be good. Okay, so I think that's much better. That's gonna work a lot better for what I want to do. So plenty of space down in there, and yeah, not too tall. Gonna hang that so I can hang it on a wall, and looking pretty good. Yeah, cool. So I think the next thing I gotta do is figure out how I want to cut the center out and how deep I want it to be. So that's gonna be interesting. All right, so I've got that center cut out. Yeah, I think that's gonna be cool. So there's my box, and just used my Dremel to cut out the centers enough that I could get my flush cut saw in and do the corners, and there we go. So cool. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a cool box for this prop for sure. I dig it. All right. Okay, so I've got my box ready, and so the other thing I was kind of wanting to do when I was looking on eBay for, you know, any kind of Oriental box or something, I came across this one image of a jewelry box, and the outside was bright red and like had, you know, inlay or something, and the inside was covered with kind of a Chinese newspaper looking stuff. And I thought, you know what, that would be kind of a cool way to incorporate kind of Oriental text or whatever. And so in Serenity, the movie, the Oriental text, oh no, I set that in water. The Oriental text is Japanese. The spoken Oriental is some version of Chinese, so they have kind of like an amalgamation of Oriental cultures in the movies. So I was looking for some kind of Japanese symbols or something and had no idea what to put on it. And so then I was thinking, what about like a, you know, antique Japanese newspaper or something like that. And then I found this image for this really cool typography. And this is actually a page from a Japanese newspaper, but it is movie advertisements, and one of them was Douglas Fairbanks in The Black Pirate, and that just kind of like, you know, because Malcolm and his crew are, in a sense, they're pirates, not the kind of like kill you and take everything you have kind of pirates, but like the, you know, looking for plunder and all that kind of stuff type pirates. So I thought that was kind of funny, and so that's kind of going to be my nod towards Malcolm and his crew. Yeah, so that's going to give me kind of like the look that I want, but also has that fun reference in it. So so yeah, I'm gonna decoupage. I printed this one out full size, and it's, you know, a little bit larger, and then I printed out some that were smaller and doubled them up, and those will be on the sides. So I'll have, you know, some variety of size and text, and I just think the text on that looks really cool, and somehow I'll find a way to cover that up through aging or something, but I just thought that was really cool. So I'm going to let those dry thoroughly and then heat set them, and then I can decoupage them into the inside of the box and then move on to painting. Okay, so I just kind of aged these. I just took my craft heat tool, this little thing right here, and just kind of like got it close to the paper until it started turning color. You have to be careful. You can set your paper on fire that way, but it does give it a very kind of authentic aged look to it. And if you get it too close, you will make your paper real brittle and it can crack or break, so just be careful about that. You don't want it to start getting black. But yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So for the inside of the box, I wanted to build kind of a extra layer down here, and this will be what my lights can go on. Of course, I'm going to cover this so you can't see down in there, but I just took the center that I cut out of the top and took some of these little blocks that you can get at the Dollar Tree to kind of raise it up, because I want enough room for the light mechanism and all that kind of stuff to be down there. So this will be going in there, and this will be covered over with something else that will go all the way to the edge, and then my lights will be mounted onto this. And I think that's turning out pretty cool, so excited about this. Okay, so I had these sitting on my shelf, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna lay those in there just so I can get an idea. But no, I'm not putting glitter filled tubes in. No, not doing it. My Flux Capacitor is not run on glitter, although it should. That would be hilarious. I was just going through some of my Star Wars Greebly boxes and trying to find some things that I could use for this. I'm thinking maybe these will work for my wires. I'm not sure yet. And I found this piece of paper, which is probably wrapped around some kind of parts at some point to keep them from rusting. But I do love this little caution sign here. I think it looks pretty cool, and it's got some oriental characters, so I may try to incorporate that in somehow. I don't know, because it's, you know, it's aged looking and faded looking, and it has that kind of caution symbol and the oriental letters, so I think it'll go pretty well. I just got to figure out where I want to do it. I may cut that out and put it on the window, you know, I'm not sure yet. I'll think about it. I just thought it was a cool piece that would kind of tie in with this build, so maybe. So in the Star Wars Room Builders group, we do a Greebly exchange each year, and I found this one from a Rogue Squad Garage. They sent me this cool little box of Greeblies, and I think I'm just gonna try to use what's in here I'm trying to use what I have. The only difference was the box, because I didn't have anything that would work for the box, but I am trying to use up what I have on hand, because I don't want to have to buy anything and I don't want to have to make anything. I just want to be able to build just for the fun of it, because I don't want it to be super complicated. I'm just having fun here. So I think I'm going to use this for my wiring. And then in here is some of these, which I was looking for some little roundnesses that I could kind of build up. And then there were some of these little caps here. The fact that there's 3 was perfect because I needed 3. So I'm just going to kind of piece some things together, something like that. Paint them, of course. And then in my stash of extra parts and pieces of acrylic that I have cut on my Glowforge at different times, I had these big chunks, and I kind of like how they're flat on the bottom, and then this one end has a round. This one's rounded on both sides, but this end is straight. So I think I'm going to use that for the pieces that go like this, so that I can use these up, because I've had these forever and they're an odd size and an odd shape, and you know, I'm glad to be able to finally use those instead of it just being wasted acrylic. So I'm going to cut those down and use those for those parts. So I'm super excited to find these, and I'm going to be able to make this work. So yay! So the other thing is I've got my box painted. I'm just letting it dry, and I just did a thin coat here, and I kind of like that reddish brown lacquer showing through. It kind of brightens up that red a little bit, because I had kind of a dark red, and I think that looks pretty cool. And then the next thing I have done is I have taken that wood piece from the center, added a piece of chipboard to make it fit all the way to the edges, and then covered it with my large sheet of paper. And now I've just got to put the skinny papers around the edges, around the sides. So it's all coming together. Okay, so I've got those pieces cut down and I painted the sides black with a Posca pen so that the light can shine through there, but not through the sides. And kind of got my layout going on here, and am working on the little tubes. I just took some little acrylic test tubes that I found on Amazon a while back, and working on creating my little tubes, and have a piece of wire coming out the end for a little detail. I've got the little caps going here, and I'm gonna put these caps right in the center, and this little pluggy thing, and I think it's turning out pretty cool so far. I've got a little strip of LED lights. They're not gonna flash or anything, they're just gonna be on or off, but that's what I have on hand. I have several, but they all just turn on or turn off, so it's okay. I'm cool with that. And now I'm just kind of fixing to connect these. I've got to get the paper done on the insides, and I've got to get a top cut. So moving right along. Alright, so I drilled some holes and got my lights put in there, pulled up some of this paper so I could cover the edge, because these are a little bit skinnier than my light strips. And now I just got to glue those down. Okay guys, I went ahead and finished this up. My phone died, so I couldn't take video of the rest of the things that I had to do, but I did finish lining the edges with the paper that I had printed out and glued in this piece to the back. I've got my little pieces of scrap acrylic right there and there, and then those are those tubes that I cut down, and you know, the greeblies that I had gotten, and added the little wire, drilled a hole through the center, added wire that goes all the way through that cap. And then these are just some scrap pieces of wire that I kind of added to the top to kind of give it, you know, a little more detail. And then this is actually some acetate from the front of like a doll box that was left from last Christmas. Been in the greebly pile. And then I added the little labels and things. These are just, you know, they say things, but they're not like related to the flux capacitor. They're just labels that I had on junk mail and packaging, and just like cut them out and layered them up and, you know, distressed them to kind of give them a little bit of detail. It probably says Bob's your uncle or something, you know, I don't know. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So got the LEDs put in and drilled a hole in the back for the wire to come out of. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I think it looks sufficiently flux capacitor-ish. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with this little challenge. It was just kind of like a goofy, fun little thing to do. And yeah, so yeah, so the backstory for this one is Mal and the crew of the Serenity, during one of their mini capers, found the flux capacitor. It was an ancient artifact from Earth that was, and they use it now to come out on top of their many, like, you know, crime-filled capers and smuggling and all the things that they do. And yeah. So, of course, Mal is going to use it to go back in time and win the war that was lost and bring freedom to the verse. Yes. But anyway, yeah, so that was kind of fun, and just, you know, kind of out of the box, just using the things that I had. The only thing I bought for this was the box, literally. Paid $2 and something. Kind of challenged myself to use what I had and not buy anything extra for it. So all found parts in the greebly pile, and I think it turned out pretty cool for what it is. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys think it's kind of cool. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Anyway. Alright guys, thanks so much to Brian at the Smuggler's Room. Go check out his channel on YouTube. And yeah, it was a fun challenge. I had a lot of fun just kind of playing, you know. Alright, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!